Good evening. Welcome to Side Street Arts. And this is our first Friday opening for November 2020. And we have a terrific show. This is a show that we've been waiting for a while to do. These ladies were going to give us their art back in April when we had to shut the gallery down. And in a way, I'm kind of glad because we've got a whole bunch of new things that they've been making in the meantime. And they're terrific, and it's a much more joyful show, and you can come into the gallery to see it. So my name is Michelle Sabatier, and I'm a member at the gallery, and I have Elizabeth Wojciech and Amelia Opie here, and they are our guest artists this month. Amelia does the paintings and the cutout paintings that you can see also on the wall, and Elizabeth does these wonderful ceramic sculptures, and many of them you can see are little jars, little vessels. And if you've been a fan or a visitor to Side Street Arts, you've seen both of their work from time to time, but we've got some new pieces from them. So I'm just going to page through. What I've got is just a picture of all the pieces that are here. And maybe, especially on some of these paintings, I think there might be some stories to go with them, but they're just intermixed. So let's see, we'll start with this guy, this little bunny. And so he's about, just to give you an idea, you probably saw them in the window. So these guys are about, what, 9 inches high or so, is about the scale on your work, Elizabeth. Yeah. And this guy doesn't have a rear shot, a rear photo, but they are 360. They work from all directions.
I think in the window you have him, you can see his tail.
Yeah, I think we have him with the fox together, and they flip so you can see them both in and out.
Yeah, they all have tails. And sometimes when people ask me, is this a rabbit or is this a cat? Look at the tail.
Check the tail.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you want me to talk about them or?
Well, if there's some, because I know some of them, when I was putting them on the online store, you have little stories about some of them, the little lovebirds, and some of them have little stories.
Yeah, and the eyes are always important to me. And somebody pointed out to me once at a show, sometimes I don't realize things until people point them out, that they all have sanpaku eyes. Have you ever heard of that? It's a Japanese thing.
Oh, when you have the white underneath?
Yes.
The eyes, yes.
And people tell me, I'm drawn in by the eyes. And when I started making them, I was about the eyes, that fleshy part underneath. I'm always drawn to people because I used to do portraits back when I used to draw. I love eyes. So when I started making these, I always wanted the eyes to be something that I felt when I made them. I didn't realize that I was doing sanpaku eyes until somebody told me.
And I didn't know that term until, I was at Paul Ryan was where I learned that term, because when he was in the news, I guess when he was Romney's Running Mate, people he has those kind of eyes. And, and it is something that it's almost subliminal that people don't realize it does that. It gives it a childlike quality too. Actors, and I like that the eyes, they're almost human on all these animals. Their eyes are very human. And they have the little bags under their eyes. Is that what you're talking about? The flesh under the eyes? Yeah, they're not at all.
That, and I can't tell
That's a nicer way to call it.
It's a thing. It's a thing for me. And people, I love that about the human face.
And I love this color, this sort of salmon color. And many of them have these emblems, like their shields are on the front, their identity shields are on the front.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is who he's sitting with. He or she is sitting with little foxy gloves there in the window. They're a cute pair.
Thank you. That's foxglove fox. I put, those are blue fox gloves on her head.
They are.
That was my intention when I made it. I made full sculptures for this show. I don't do that often because I mainly do, craft fairs and things like that. And I just keep doing kind of the same things over and over again. And then the patterns that I do are over and over again. And I realized that it's sort of this ritual thing for me. And when I look at old work and new work, I'm like, wow, so I don't know. I'm just very connected to the work. So it's hard for me to cerebralize it, but
they just sort of come out of you. It's like when you talk to fiction writers,
it really does.
They just come out, just arrives. And these are all hand sculpted, right? You're not putting these into molds or anything.
No mold. None of it's molded. I use that pattern on the heart there. this is a metal piece that my ex-boyfriend brought home from work, and I've been using it on almost every single piece I've made since. I haven't
Did you
told
know
him
that?
I want a cut of my
Is he still getting a little
those
residual?
radiating lines. There's something about that, and
Yeah.
I'm
I
really
love
drawn
that
to
little nose, this little pointy nose
Thank
on
you.
that. And I think
you.
she has some little eyelashes. That right eye looks like she has little eyelashes. Another bunny.
Another
This
bunny.
bunny has a very serious face.
Yes. I really fell in love with that one when I was making it. Just the shape of all of it. And then when I put the feet on, they're a little bigger in relation to the rest of the piece, which I also was like, I love this one. I know I fall in love with them as I'm doing them, almost as if I'm not the one making them.
They have little personalities though, each one.
They do. And I also realized after the fact that all of the animals that I do are snarky animals. Chickens, crows. I do blue jays. I did blue jays for the show. They didn't make
I
it
love your
to
blue
the
jay.
count.
We have one blue jay, but it's an
Had them
Eastern
there
blue jay. We do
before.
have one in the gallery.
Rabbits tend to be, I mean, they're cute and sweet, but
This one is just
everything
over it.
has an attitude.
Yeah, this one has just had enough of everything. Yeah. Another crow. So we have a lot of crows from you, and we've got crows in the alcove. And I know your crows are really super popular. I like them because they can stand up.
Started. It's just the wings. I started making them that way, and I've been making them like that ever since. It's been about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and every single one is original, and I have a feeling about every one of them. It's like a felt sense.
You get that little cock on their head, or just the slightest thing will give them a different.
Yeah, they're not widgets. They're everyone has some little energy in it.
So this blue and black, it looks like you've glazed it and then rubbed something on or rubbed something off. I don't know enough about ceramics.
So what I do, and I'll try to talk about that a little bit on the 15th also.
Oh, right, when we talk about processing.
Yeah, I sculpt it with sculpture clay, and then I don't know, for the first firing of the bisque fire, I actually use a black underglaze.
Mm-hmm.
And underglaze is, I don't know if you want me to explain that, but it's basically it's glaze, and but it stays put. And the reason why I do it before the first firing is so that when I bring it out of the first firing, then I put a blue underglaze on it and then wipe it back. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't glaze it the first time.
Yeah, we can talk about hopefully you'll show us the order of things on that. So
then
then here we are on the 15th. So yeah, for people who are watching, if you're interested, on the 15th on Sunday, we'll have a studio visits with both artists who will show us whatever you want to show us. If you want to have some pieces in process, or just tour your studio, or however you want to share with us, which I think is a great improvement over people just, I mean, as nice as it is to stand and have a drink in the gallery, it's really great to be able to peek in people's studios. So this is one of Amelia's cutouts, and if you didn't see the piece in the photo in the beginning, the black there is, I guess it looks like he's laying on some fabric or something. Yeah. So this is cut out in this shape in plywood, right? And it's like maybe half an inch thick or so.
Yeah, exactly. I shot it. I don't know if you can tell. So in the gallery right now, I almost have two bodies of work. It's a tale of two cities, and one is pre-COVID and one is COVID, which we're in now. And the cutouts.
That's the cutouts, right? They were the second.
Yeah, they're the COVID. I don't know, I just needed to shake it off a little bit, and I would walk around and look for discarded plywood or offcasts or whatever, and this is cut out from one of those pieces,
and you just jigsaw them out.
Yep. I've painted birds before, and they're really terrifically hard at getting the feathers, and it's a nightmare.
Birds are very hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have several people in the gallery who do birds.
You can do it.
It's like people, I mean, people are hard to do too, but birds, there's just something about them. They can look so icky when they're not done right. He's really soaring. That's about 2 feet wide. That's a big piece. That's the piece that was over top of everything else in the gallery. So these are large, and I think amazingly priced. So this guy is only $120. And that's, but he's already bought. But there are some others that this is the price range for your cutouts, but somebody else is already lucky enough to have this one. But this will fill a wall, for a very good price for people who are just beginning to collect art. And I know a lot of folks who come in to Side Street, we have people who are working their way up the art ladder in terms of how much they're willing to go under for art. It's always tempting.
I like people to buy things,
Yeah, it should be accessible to everyone. I mean, yeah, you should be able to have this. I love these colors in the tail.
Yeah. I thought about after it was done, I was like, I didn't put feet on that fella.
That's okay. They tuck their feet up when they go.
Yeah. No, it didn't feel right. So I never went back and added them.
But much like your paintings, they're you can continue to look at it. The paintings, when you see them right up, they're like super complex. But these guys, the more you look at them, you start to see more and more little details and your little hidden shapes in there. Another crow. So we have a lot of birds and a lot of cats in the show. There are lots of birds and lots of cats. I like this little crow too. He's very dapper with his little hat.
Yeah, I like the hat.
And so this guy is Brad. I noticed that is it Brad or does it stand for something?
It's just a brat. Raccoon.
Brad. He's a raccoon, and they are brats. Raccoons are brats.
Yeah, and another snarky animal. I mean, they're adorable. That's why I like cats. They're adorable, but they're also brats.
Yeah, and he's very proud of it. Proud Brad.
He looks like the guilty dog you see in all those videos after they've gone through the trash.
Well, as raccoons,
your trash.
as raccoons do, yeah. I actually had a missed delivery of food the other night, and I went out to look for it, and there was a raccoon, and I don't know whether he took my lamb masala or not.
They're pretty, yeah.
Oh, and I love this one. So the title of this is Obsession. Talk about eyes.
I made that for when we were going to have the show the first time.
That was in April. Yeah.
Yeah, I just the eyes.
Yeah.
The patterns. And he loves birds so much that he eats them.
What animal is he?
He's a cat.
He's a cat. Okay.
Yeah. And he's over there on my kitchen table right now. And I will bring him in tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you must. Yeah. Well, I flipped one out of the slideshow too. So the missing piece is not in the slideshow. You'll have to come into the gallery to see it.
Yes. I tomorrow the traffic will be great, and I'll be in tomorrow.
So this is and we'll open at noon. This is a great time to say. Wonderful segue. Thank you. We are open from Thursdays through Sundays, and from 12 to 5. Thursdays through Sundays. And of course, 24/7. You can shop online, and this whole show is online on the website. I've got the website down there on the bottom of the slide, and you can snap up any of these. As you see, they're already going quickly. The show hasn't even opened. Actually, I think before the show officially opened, those 2 were sold, which is great. People have been wanting art. There's a lot of pent up need for art. And another cat. Cat-o-matic.
Yeah.
Another cutout.
Yeah. So wonderful.
So for years now, I've been thinking, and I have occasionally done robotic cats and things. I wanted to do animal robots, and I thought I should really study like electronic parts and bone up on like gadgets and, do drawings. And I, of course, have never done any of that. So this is just my version of what a, electronic robot cat would look like. And
the way you've painted the staticky stomach, for lack of a better torso.
Well, he's an all-in-one. He's a TV too.
He's everything.
Yeah, he's your friend when it's COVID and you need a friend.
You do need a little. Oh, he's your friend. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he's got modesty pants on. Might have a problem.
It must have been early in the shutdown when people were still wearing pants.
Yes.
You can tell you made him first.
Anyway.
I was thinking when you're talking about the sort of the digital cats and stuff, Joe Fedderson's work?
I'll write it down.
Yeah, Joe Fedderson. He has stuff in the Portland Art Museum. So he's a Native American artist, and he does sort of that very traditional weaving where you're basically working. It's like pixels, right? When you're weaving, that's basically what
Yeah.
pixels are. And when you first look at it, it looks like it's these sort of traditional little native shapes, but it's actually little animal. They're like little animals that have TV heads and antennas, or they're And then he also did stained glass mosaic pieces, using that same. And then when I've talked to kids about it, I try and bring up like Minecraft. It's the little pixelations of things. But he builds that way, but it's that marriage of, there's something about this that reminds me of it, the sort of basicness of, the found wood and cutting it out and painting it yourself, but then with this digital
Right.
screen
It is
going on in his
ridiculous.
stomach.
And the TV is my childhood when we had whatever that, we don't have, TV never looks like that anymore. It doesn't have
No.
static.
It never does. No, I remember, and early color TVs. Who was I? I was talking with Linda. I was talking with Linda Robertson the other day about early color TVs and how they were like people would gather together, in the lobby of someplace to look at the color TV, and it was horrible. Yeah, yeah. But he does sort of bring that back. But I like the faces on those little cats. They have human faces. And this is another cat.
This is called "Get Up on the Dance Floor."
Oh yeah, we were singing while we were hanging these. Yeah.
So he's got that pattern has to do with disco balls.
Oh, okay. See, I of course see it as a beehive because I do acoustics, so I immediately see a beehive. But yes, he's a disco cat.
Yeah, and then there's writhing cats in the bottom, and
love the cats on the bottom.
This one's made from a bunch of different pieces, so the head and the arms are glued on. So boogie on down.
Yeah, the cats on the bottom sort of look like those hidden pictures, like find all the cats in there.
Yeah.
And he's big too. The Cat-O-Matic is 27 inches high, and this guy is 23 inches high. So these are some nice big pieces. I would love to see them above fireplaces. There they are. You can sort of see the two paintings that are there are like 24 by 20-ish. So you can see the size of these guys and the space that they take up on the wall.
They're big.
They're big. I know. Another little digicat.
Digicat. So sometimes, I think painting is all about getting yourself in trouble. Like it just
great quote. We're gonna put that quote up.
They look bad for a while. All paintings look bad until I work on it for a while. And so I intentionally splattered and made a mess. And, I turned that D thesis paper into an A. So I just dug myself, I just added and sprayed and splatted, and I, dug myself out of that hole. And
and that's the courage of painting though, you have to have faith, and it is an act of faith every time.
Yeah, it is.
That you can go there and find your way back out.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then knowing when to stop.
Yeah.
Are you able to, because I do mostly encaustic, I can always scrape back on things. Are you able to go backwards on things, or do you sometimes just and you just start over? You just gesso all over and start over?
Yeah, it's with acrylics really easy to start over. You can white anything out. Occasionally I've sanded things, but I try not to because I don't think it's that healthy a practice.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah. But I love the sort of scratchiness of his back quarters and how that comes up into the tail. And then the pale blue. And again, this black is not his background. He's cut out and sits on a wall. It's so nice looking on black. You'd almost want to paint a wall black.
Yeah.
Because he looks really sharp on the black. This is a different kind of cat. Talk about judging. Very judgmental, this guy.
One of my favorite. I almost kept this one. Really liked it a lot.
It's a cat.
Thank you.
It's a cat. Yeah, he is definitely judgy, or she. Are your cats girls, boys? Do you know? Are they gendered? They don't have to
hindsight,
be.
usually, I don't put a whole lot of thought in. I do it and then I see how it's coming out.
Yeah.
Painting is sort of similar sometimes. You just kind of partly an idea and then partly bringing that idea out,
Yeah.
in the
And I
pattern.
love the colors. The colors on this of the like the underglazes and the greens, it's a lot more complex than it looks on here.
And iron oxide, I use iron oxide. I've been using that since I started ceramics also. That's what gives it that sort of, I don't know, the rusty kind of look.
Yes, beautiful. And I like that you can really see the mark of your hand in here. You can tell they're not molded. You can see the mark of your tools. This one, this one cracks me up. Woofer tweeters.
So this is also part of the robot animals. And I like that the legs don't match, and
Yeah.
it looks like you could put discs in, and I don't,
There's a
how
little leg here. It just says more music, more music.
more music.
And he's doing his little dance.
He definitely is. He's also got joined up parts, and just had fun with it.
Yeah. And his eye, and then the mouth, there's really detail in this mouth is cut out with the little tongue hanging out there.
Yeah, I had fun with this. I like that, all of our media has really changed through time too. Like, is there room for VHS tape in there? Or are we gonna,
He's got the slots.
if you push a button, or what of these systems does it have? I think it has all of them.
Yeah, it's all the way from like the birds and dogs, right?
Yeah,
to like, I can see electronic music in here. There's reel-to-reel tapes. There's the slots for the VHS, and I love the little wheels on his feet there.
Like in this one, there's I think the repeat of the white circles kind of helps tie it together, because there's a lot going on in this one.
There's a lot, yeah, the little polka dots. I love these colors, and that shot of green is gorgeous for his eye. Freebird, while we're talking about music. Freebird, that was the other song that we ended up singing.
This one is like the most conceptual piece in the
Yeah, and he's a big one. This is the tall bird that you can see in the window. He's pretty good size.
I used the colors symbolic. There's waves on its chest. Just the whole idea, and that there's the heart has an eyeball in the middle of it. I don't know if I sent you a photo of that.
I think there was a third picture, but I didn't put it on this. But yeah,
it's just the whole idea of following your heart and feeling your emotions. It'll set you free. The whole idea of birds, I was like, why are we so drawn to birds? And I think that might be part of it. I mean, because they're free. They seem free to us. They can fly. So.
Yeah, they're pretty, and then they're temporary. They're fleeting. That sense of that you can't really hold them in your hand. Yeah, but yeah, he's a big guy. He's like this. The lovebirds are tinier. They're sweet.
Yes.
But yeah, I love the detail on his wings and the way this yellow color comes down his back.
Thank you.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. So that's him in the window, and you can see the heart there on his chest, and kind of get an idea of his scale. He's just sitting there looking out.
The goat. I started making goats when people started asking me for goats.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're almost to the wombat, and I want to hear about wombats. If people came up to you and started asking you for wombats, we'll find out what happened.
Well, the wombat was inspired by a friend of mine, but and then on the chest, I usually think about where's the goat, flowers, they they could be out in the meadow, although they would eat all the flowers. This is true. There's another idea.
Yeah, oh, he's totally the goat in some children's story. You just know it. Like, he's the little goat that ate the flowers, and
yeah.
And looks completely innocent. He's got that like, who me?
And he has nice, and I see a nice photo of the tail, which is great. And the inside of that is yellow, and I used a metallic on the hood.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, we should. You know what? When we're during the rest of the month, we'll get some photos that show the insides. And I like that he's got these little hoofs. He has the right kind of feet. Yeah, there's a couple of goat farms that are open now. Even during COVID time, you can go out and celebrate with goats. There's some places that'll host goat parties for you and let you go out and pet goats. Some outdoor, if you need any outdoor activities.
They're
There's not a lot of things to
sweet
do.
little animals. Yeah,
They are wonderful animals.
they are.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is the.
Yeah, I hates you, Hawk.
So he's about 2 feet tall.
Yeah. And if you really looked at this piece, I had a toe fall off when I screwed it back on. And with this was kind of fun. I got a really bad piece of building plywood and I highlighted its problems. And I feel
I was
like,
wondering about that. I was going to ask you because the paint on here looks like you found, this one looks more like found
yeah,
wood than the others.
yeah, I might have been driven over. I
But
feel
yeah,
like,
highlighting the problems. That's cool.
I think this would look great in a tavern or something, an old English tavern.
Oh, it would, like on a brick wall
Yeah.
or stone
Yes.
wall or something. Yeah. Yeah, he looks old or like he was like maybe he was part of some other sign that happened
Yeah.
somewhere.
Somebody could buy it and add lettering on the bottom.
Okay, we can let people know that they can participate in your art. They can add whatever they want once it's theirs. The colors are subtle, but they are, yeah, it has an oldness and a newness about it.
Yeah, I was sparing in this one. There is no purple.
Yeah, we noticed, when we were hanging and trying to put them together, as little vignettes, I'm like, well, who does he go with? Actually, he kind of goes with Pizza Rat, but
Yes, yeah, they do. They're the same idea. One thing I like about doing animals at work is that I think they can have an attitude. They can be pissy, and hawks are predators, and they're going after critters. So
they
I like
are.
to think he reads that way.
Many of the little bunnies and kittens that Elizabeth brought us.
You might be looking
might
down
come
at
in one morning and the
Elizabeth.
whole gallery will be covered in blood. They're all going to go after each other like Toy Story.
You know what? We could use a few of these guys for the rats.
Yeah, we could. Oh God, I love this guy so much. Yeah,
So he's a killer.
and he is.
I have a cat that I have a neighbor who, when I see him upon occasion, will say, "How's Killer doing?" Because she's gotten a few birds, and she's a ratter, a big time ratter.
Mhm.
So this is sort of speaking to that, and there are things I like about it. It's very rough. You can tell by some of the texture of the paint. I've actually took a piece of foam and blotted paint on there.
Mm.
So once again, just getting myself into trouble and digging myself out, trying to make, how bad can this be? And I can turn it
How
around.
bad can it be when I can still fix it?
Yeah, well, I kind of enjoy it. And
like
so a
that
lot of the
paint-
flower,
Go ahead.
sorry.
I like that the face is very, this is not an accident of the photography. The face is highly defined and detailed, and then he does sort of fade out. So it brings your focus to that face.
Yeah, it's sort of a floating detail in there.
Mhm.
And I kind of think, well, what is he looking out at? Is there, something swimming in that water? He's got a pond across his
Mhm.
body. He's definitely thinking about what he could hunt.
He is, and I love his mouth, the shape of his mouth. And this looks very much like the landscape of your regular paintings.
Yeah.
He's like a little missing link between the paintings because it looks like the world those paintings create.
Yeah, I definitely put the landscape on him. And, interesting, it's such a weird cat pose, but I was looking at my cat one day and this is how she was standing. Kind of, well,
Yeah.
that looks uncomfortable, but that's what it was.
And that acid green. I mean, his colors are really, really vivid in person. It's very much an acid green.
Yep.
And here we are. So this is some of your older pieces, the things that I think people know you for.
Yeah, so again, a lot of this is a tale of two cities, and this is the earlier city. This kind of work is a lot of work for me, and takes, you can't tell, but it takes hours and hours.
Mhm.
And I'm a big lover of fantasy and sci-fi. And the larger, these are larger ones in this format are 24 by 20, and they all deal with legends or sci-fi or myths, you know, just anything I randomly was thinking about.
Yeah, this is a 24 by 20. I think there's only one that's not 24 by 20.
Yeah, you're right. There's one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see you know, there's a lot of detail in here and a lot of world making, world building. Yeah.
Yep. So I kind of think there's a troll under the bridge that ended up looking like me.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, I loved the three Billy Goats Gruff, and you can see one of them just starting over. It's probably the baby one that, you
Yeah.
know.
It's got those weird goat eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting to paint Sasquatch or Bigfoot or Yeti or.
Is that who that is on the unicorn?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels weird I think I should have made the feet even bigger, but yeah, so I'm just thinking of this other world where everybody's coexisting and living out their legends. Anyway.
It's so dreamlike. And I love that the little buildings down here look almost like little Russian onion domes.
I think I was thinking about that.
And the little dolls at the bottom, I can see that sort of.
Yeah, I think those are little Nomi guys.
Little gnomes.
You know, it's weird. It's like, well, you know, there's an archetype for a lot of these kind of, if you listen to a lot of sci-fi or fantasy, there's an archetype for a lot of, an orc is an orc, you know, an elf is an elf.
Yeah. They span every culture. Yeah. I remember when I taught middle school, I did a unit on all the Cinderella stories, you know, and there's like a million Cinderella stories.
I didn't know that.
You know, they all have that similar, you know, what if there's only 8 stories, right? Like, so, and especially when you get to the myths, right? You're teaching those same lessons over and over again with the myths and the fantasy worlds. And looked over by this little moon. There's the wombat.
Wombat.
I don't know if I would know a wombat if I fell over one. Are they those things that are like giant rats?
Yeah.
Those are the caribundas or whatever they are. What
Really?
are wombats?
Yeah. They're kind of, and then, well, you remember with the fires in Australia, I heard about, you know, and I don't know if I don't believe everything I see, but I like the idea that they were actually helping other animals and herding them into their burrows during the fires.
Oh, that's very nice.
I heard about that. And then a friend of mine died not too long ago under sort of tragic circumstances. And he had said, you know, another friend of mine had asked the question, like, if you could die and be brought back, anything. He said wombat, and for that reason. So they're kind of and then they put Lover on there because that was the first thing I thought of them. If you watch videos of them, they get very attached to humans and get under your feet even more than cats.
They get under your skin too. They look really lovey. I'm
They're
looking
so
up.
damn
And
cute,
they
too.
sound really nice. Yeah.
But so
They weigh
that's
about
where wombat came from.
40 to 75 pounds though. They're big. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just look like big, like giant stuffed animals. They're not as rodenty looking as those capybaras. They don't look.
They
as
really do look like giant stuffed
very
animals.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of these jars, these little vessels. It's been interesting when because you've been doing these vessels for a while, and as we've sold them, I love knowing what people plan to keep in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started out as a hand builder when I started, and my teacher said, "Don't even worry about the wheel," because of course, you know, when everybody starts on the wheel, it's like, you know? So I didn't even bother with the wheel until I started wanting to make vessels. And I can't tell you why I wanted to make the vessels, but I did. I was making the animals, and then I just thought I really want to make bustles with my animals.
So these are done well, we'll talk about that on the Sunday. I'm always skipping
Yeah,
ahead.
the vessel part is on the wheel, and then
We'll
the
just
rest is
tease
on my pen.
this. We'll tease this so you can find out how she makes these vessels. And then this is, I think, the one painting that's a little bit smaller, the Mythical Children Make Wishes.
Yeah, I think this might have been the first one.
It's 20 by 16, but yeah, it's still
It's a little smaller, and it's on canvas, just straight up canvas, which I don't always use. It's more fragile, canvas.
Yeah.
You can load it into your car and poke a hole through it,
I know.
Yeah.
You've got nice, and all of these are framed. All the paintings come framed.
Yeah, so again, these are archetype. There's a Minotaur, and the story of the Minotaur is really sad. I mean, he is fated, he's ill-fated, and he's a child here. I mean, he's gonna lose his head, I think, right?
Yeah, no, he doesn't come out well, but I like him as a little calf.
And he didn't do anything wrong. He was just born. So
Yeah,
yeah. Not fair. And I have a Bigfoot in a modesty leaf gown, and a little baby unicorn, and a little has a beard, so I guess that's not a troll but a gnome. And they have the childhood act of pulling daisies apart and making wishes. So they're approaching those daisies as they would, as one is some are eating and some are pulling. And
yeah, but I like the daisies floating down the stream, and just that detail of like his little toes in the stream. And I like looking at where everybody's eyes are going. To me, that's the story,
Yeah. So it's a challenge to think of how to paint something that doesn't exist. A young Bigfoot, how do you do that and not make a monstrosity? And I feel like are they in our world? Are they in another world? And also that there's an aqueduct in the background. So a little Roman flair.
Yeah, I was thinking when I first looked at it, I thought they were like on a bridge, but it's really not. It's there's some ancient world again there. And I love the sky.
Yeah, the sky, if you see it in person, has almost like a marbleized effect, which was fun to do.
Yeah, all the art, let's just blanket statement, all the art is always better in person. Lots more colors and more beautiful. There's your little lovebird. So you have a series of 3 lovebirds.
I started just when I was making birds, and they just kind of came out of that. I make a lot of lovebirds now. They always have a heart on their chest. And then I started putting hearts on their feet for this show, on their legs, because they wear their heart on their sleeve.
That's where bird sleeves are.
and people always want to know, oh, what kind of bird is that? Well, they're lovebirds. That's what I tell people. So that I get to do whatever colors I want. I don't have to try to do a black crow or I get to,
I just love the markings on the feathers. Those are really great. It's almost like a peacock feather, right? With the eye on the end.
I've been doing those circles ever since I started, and sticking with it. It's sort of my mark.
It's a very world weary lovebird.
They're always wise and world weary.
They're never in their first crush. They're always like they've been around for a while.
That's when I do them, I think of that, like, they are wise, and love makes you wise, because all that stuff.
And this has a lot going on in it.
Yeah, it's called Hey, I'm Just Going Out for Milk.
So who is saying that? Is it the cat that's saying
the cat is saying that. Okay. Yeah, and there's too much fanfare, like
there's a lot.
What is this guy? This cat, is he royalty? He probably is. He's a cat.
Yeah.
So
I like the stream is going nowhere.
It's just nowhere. I like that he's just a weird looking cat with how some cats have that ring of fur. It's got its own thing going on. And what's funny about this painting, that there's a little bridge with a wooden handrail, and I painted that like 10 times, because I just couldn't get it right, or I'd have to fix something around it. So
It's a charming handrail. It's very, handmade, right? It's not, there's nothing manufactured about that handrail.
I think we went to Hawaii and I saw at a resort a handrail like that. I don't know. Give
I
people
like
pause.
all the little stone pathways. I love how your play with perspective, right? Like this pathway that's behind, it's kind of going up where your signature is. Like I'm assuming that's a little stone path, but it's, it's like you've got perspective and then it flattens out this way as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's an elf flying by in a kayak, and I like that you can't. Well, is it the sky or is he in the water? It's kind of confusing on it, and I actually like that. I was trying to get. I'm not sure I pulled it off with this painting, but if you paint, sometimes there's an idea of making like a tonal painting where everything is really kind of the same value, and then you have one thing that pops out at you, and that's supposed to be the cat. But
well, it's like there's a light shining onto his belly there.
Right.
Mhm.
But I caved in a little, and the skulls are kind of bright.
Well, the bear's commanding a lot of attention.
Yeah. Anyway, so like in a lot of my work, sometimes I will look at references. I was really looking at bears, and then with the turtle, I just didn't bother.
Because he's awesome just the way he is. Yeah. Well, when I first saw it, I thought for a minute that the bear was like driving those, like he was, riding a team of skulls, and then I realized it was a little band.
Yeah, he's he's royalty. That cat. He's getting
Yeah. And this other little cat down on the bottom is like just sitting there waiting for stuff to come off.
It's really like just there.
Yeah, just whatever comes around.
Oh yeah. So this is Parade Floats, and it's got these. And I was looking at this painting. I popped in the other day, and everything is kind of out of proportion, but I like it. The squirrel is almost as big as the people.
Yeah.
So there's a squirrel, and I think that's some kind of Australian marsupial I was looking at, and I like that this is a peaceful world, and again, the archetype of an elf. Elves are there. I don't usually paint people, so it's pretty challenging. When you paint people, you have to turn flesh, and it's sort of some ways they make me think of Native Americans too. And I think maybe when people have written about elves, I think they're alluding to Native cultures. And
yes, and they go by many names in different places. And yeah, these are the ones that are in this place because this place is these beautiful purples and violets and greens.
Yeah, so one of the things I did in this painting, to move your eye around, if you look at the elf's hair, you can see blue, and then there's a troll or a gnome, and he's got blue pants. And if you find a yellow flower, there's a way to move your eye around.
And this beautiful purple that's up underneath the dog. Is this a dog?
It's a wolf.
A wolf. It's a very kindly wolf.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a little Shiba Inu to me.
Yeah, if you have a dog that looks like that, and
my dog looks a lot like that.
Painting speaks to you.
Yeah, but I love that the purple up under there, like you say.
Yeah,
you just move your eye around, pick a color, and carry it around. And the water looks like it's bubbling, maybe, like a little little frothy seltzer or something.
Yeah, I was enjoying just splattering, just messing things up, splattering.
And the looks on the faces, this little marsupial that is taking that flower has such
it really is a peaceable kingdom.
I want to be the squirrel. He's just like sitting back, waiting his turn.
Yeah, the wolf isn't going for anybody.
No, he has a very kind face. Everybody has.
We need more of that.
Oh, don't we? So picking up an election result. So yeah, this is the other acid green. You have a dog and a cat, both in acid green. I love this dog has wheels.
Yeah, this is another machine animal. And
Mhm.
so, I've been thinking about one of the things with our new television is that we can edit out all these commercials.
Mhm.
But I certainly remember the commercial Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
Yeah.
So this is a play on that. This is a quicker pickler pupper. So you can put your little cucumbers in,
Yeah.
doesn't know that, and then you can get a product. So it's
And you just use his tail to turn it on and off. And he's
uh,
portable. You can just take him wherever you want because he's got those little wheels on his.
yeah. I hear people like pickles. I do not, but
Oh.
yeah, I never liked them. So he's kind of green because he is a pickling machine.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I like to do is walk around and meet people's dogs. I love it actually.
Yeah.
But I tell you, they're either walking, peeing, or pooping.
That is what they do.
That is it.
Pretty much.
So this is kind of a comment on the pooping part. Anyway, I showed my sisters this and they said, one of them said, "You is weird."
But that's why we love you. Now I like his sort of armored side. He's got the like, we're getting
Yeah.
a little cutaway, but
Exactly.
he's a very sturdy machine with all these riveted panels on him.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking exactly. And he is one piece, I think. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think he is all in one piece. It's a little,
Yep.
it's, a little cut out through there, the little pickles. Dogs.
Yeah. So this is also a pre-COVID. So the cat heads, I was experimenting with spraying, again, messing things up.
Mhm.
The Medusa cat heads that you can
Mhm.
see an orange halo. And, sometimes when I paint, and I would always hear this in art school, is sometimes what you're bad at is what you're good at. So I'm enjoying being bad at things like I didn't really paint a tiger. I kind of drew a tiger badly.
Yeah, he is more of a drawing. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about here is obviously the Medusa myth, and this cat is changing everybody to a cat, and he's a real asshole. I'd like to think all these cats were Romans. See how they're wearing togas?
Mm-hmm.
And they have changed into cats, all different kinds of cats. Cats get cats.
Grumpy cat.
Yeah, it is
He does
grumpy.
look like Grumpy Cat.
Yeah,
Grumpy cat. Oh, yeah.
This is just grumpy.
Yeah, he's just not pleased to be a cat.
No.
And
Anyway,
the faces on the Medusa cats, wow.
Yes. So I tried to make them similar so it wasn't too crazy.
Mm-hmm. But it is because when you first look at it, it would be too much to process all those cats. But once you figured out the others and you really start going deep into those guys, yeah, there's like every possible human emotion is up there, I think. I love this one. It's very pretty, really peaceful. But
Yeah.
explain the title for me. I must have checked 100 times to make sure that was not supposed to be words.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
is A. We will make words.
I think I didn't take the best photo of this. This is a little greener, but
it is very it's almost glowing. It's
yeah,
red eyes. Mm-hmm.
So I had gone to the Field Museum in Chicago. My husband was insistent, and actually it's really a neat place. I'm more of a go to the beach person, but we went, and it's pretty amazing. And they have a whole Polynesian section, and but hardly anybody's in there. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
And they have just amazing carvings and things, and I took photos of some of the carvings I saw, and I just, not to appropriate, but they're just really kind of amazing. And so these guys are making their own, they're warding themselves from, you can see a fox in the corner, they're worried. And so there's artisans, and there's some animals at rest, and there's some rabbits, and I feel like as they walk around their tower, they're warding themselves as well. They, they have a kind of ritualistic maze. They're going up and down and around and up the top. And they even have, I don't know, like clerical clothing. What do you call that? Vestments? Vestments.
Yeah, like little, yeah, they're like little protective vestments on there. And then the fox,
Yeah.
fox is very dreamy. In the painting, the fox is almost like he's like you can't tell if he's an illusion. Like if this was video, he would be sort of, hovering there. He's almost translucent looking, except for the red eyes. This one I think is one of the dreamiest of all, I think, because of the colors in there. And it's almost Escher-like with this circular tower effect.
Yeah.
I love
it.
The leaves.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. And I like the detail of where he's walking, and then these the leaves on the trees are very pretty. They're soft. I remember how Disney animation was that way. I remember how Bambi was, like Bambi was drawn, very detailed, but then those backgrounds that were soft and blurry and airy.
Oh yeah,
It has that quality.
Those background animators are just amazing.
Oh, yeah. There's Pizza Rat. He could go with the hawk.
You could. Yeah, it was a pretty banged up piece of plywood, so I just went with it. And his eyes have been actually bored out. And there's holes in the pizza too. And he's got a strange red drool coming down. So this is
his little paws. When I was hanging, I put them on the wall, and I was like, I don't even want to touch those little paws. They really look very, they're very rodenty.
Icky, yeah. So I think I've told some other people this. We've all seen the Pizza Rat video, and it's phenomenal. The New York City rat has gotten a whole slice of pizza, and carrying it down the subway. It's 2 times his size, and at the end of the video, he drops it, and I was like, no! So here Pizza Rat has the pizza.
This is how he really sees himself.
A little trippy.
Yeah, he is. Here's another one of the little lovebirds.
Another lovebird. Sampakalai.
I think of the 3, I think this one really appeals to me. He's just beseeching. He's like, he really wants he wants your love, Yeah, I think he's a lovebird who's alone. Is that perky?
But the legs and the beak are also, they're green. They look kind of black, but they're green.
Yeah, they're a dark green. Yeah. Yeah, and he's a little greener than he looks on there too. Sort of a yellowish green. There's the other lovebird.
I really love this one so much.
Yeah.
The pattern on the back, I just was so happy with how that came out, and the red legs, and I just was really happy about that.
And that yellow, yeah, the yellow's very bright. And his little, whatever you call this little top knot, his little peak.
Crest.
Crest, yeah. So this is a picture, if you know our gallery, this is the alcove when you walk in. There's this little alcove, and the light is on there all the time. And so we'll look at Cheshire in a minute, but you can see the crows there. It was hard to get the crows to kind of pop out without washing everything else out, but you've seen the crows. And then down at the bottom here is this little piece that I forgot to include in the slideshow. So at least he's there. And that is called, what is he called? Spring Baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think his feet are included in here, but you can kind of get an idea of his size.
Okay.
He's got those little crows on him. And the Cheshire Cat is just amazing. I think he comes next after this. Yeah, there's Cheshire.
Yeah, so another cutout, and actually another local artist friend of mine, Heidi Davis, I saw on her wall just an amazing Cheshire Cat painting, just a head, and so I did my own version. Hers is much better.
He's almost 2 feet wide, and I only just saw the fish in there while I was putting this stuff up on the online store. I didn't notice the fish at first. The
Yeah,
one at the bottom
so,
and in the ear too.
yeah, so it's just kind of free form. And, you know, when I draw my sketchbook, a lot of things actually look more like this. So. yeah,
So I'm
just-
eager to see. I hope you'll share some of your sketchbook stuff with us on the Sunday, on the 15th.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really thought
I'd
of
love
that.
to see the transition between when we had Sarah Swank. She this little piece here. She shared us, how she goes from sketches to a collage to a 3D piece.
Well,
Yeah, a little mustache.
that was very professional. That's hard to live up to.
Well, these are so charming, though. I just
Wonderful. Look at
they
the eyes.
are.
The eyes.
I
Oh,
love the immediacy, the doodliness of them. I like their doodliness. Oh, and I just saw I noticed his mustache, but he's got these are these like little pores or something behind his mustache? Little dots?
Whisker holes.
Little holes, little cat holes. I love the little squiggles. I think that's what gives them their, yeah, I love them. I think that's the last of our crows is Yellow Fellow with a little feather in his cap.
we had a customer that asked for crows with hats too.
Yeah, I know.
do with hats. I had a boyfriend that wore a hat like that for a while, and I
Yeah.
started copying his hat. And I do so many crows that sometimes I make a crow, and sometimes.
And I love with all of your birds, I really love the sturdiness of the feet, like they're just planted there. They're not so fragile that you're afraid you're going to break them. They're
Right.
strong as crows are. And I think that's the end of the show. So those are the pieces that we have. We have a couple of other Amelia Opie paintings and some more Elizabeth Wojcicki little vessels and whatnot that you can catch and carry. But obviously the pieces from the shows stay in the gallery until the show is over. But we do have some pieces that can go immediately, some smaller paintings and stuff. But come by the gallery so you can see. Here's the dates. This was tonight, the opening tour. And then we've got the Artist Talk series on Sunday the 15th from noon to 1. And we will get a little open studio visit. Whatever you want to share with us. I don't want artists to have to give away their secrets, but we would love to know anything of your process is fascinating to other people to be able to see your studio. So, and we are on the dot at 7:00. So comments or questions or things for Elizabeth and Amelia? We'll see you on the 15th. Thank you. Thanks for walking us through this, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching if you're watching this later. And come on by to the gallery. Even if you're watching this months from now, we'll have something else there. And we always carry Amelia and Elizabeth's work. They are guest artists this month, but they are represented artists at the gallery, and we always have pieces of theirs. So you can always see their work.
Thanks,
So
Lori.
thanks for coming by, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Lori.
Have a good weekend. Keep watching.
Michelle,
Love
thank
your work,
you.
Amelia. Really beautiful.
Thanks for coming by.
Nice
Looking
meeting
forward
you,
to-
Elizabeth.
Nice to meet you too.
Great show. This is a great
Thanks,
pairing.
everyone. Thanks for it's
We
really.
did it. All right, I'm gonna sign off.
Okay, me too. I'll see you guys on the 15th.
Yeah.
See you then.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Screen sharing has stopped. I'm going to stop recording. Stop recording.